Hey guys, and welcome back to the Tasting Room. This is a little awkward start to season 3, but I realized as soon as I got done recording with this week's guest, Nate Young, that the camera you are now looking at was double punched or just decided not to record. It's technology, weird things happen, as I'm sure you know. So this podcast, you will see my ISO camera, you will see Nate's ISO camera, but you will not see the wide shot. I wanted you to see the Christmas decorations that I referenced a couple times. I don't know if they come across in any of the other shots. So this one will look a little different. There will be no wide shot, but it's great content with a great guy. Here's Nate Young. Welcome back to the Tasting Room. It is season 3, episode 1.
Oh, wow.
Nate Young special.
Oh, wow. Oh, all right.
The newly crowned, we can still say newly, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's been
a minute, but
it's been 3 months, 90 days, something like that.
It's been that long?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what we're talking about first. The 3-month-old GM at Lowood. I realized I've had Noah on, I've had Chip on,
Mm-hmm.
I had Bobby on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just going through. I've had Tack on.
Sorry, TC.
I'm going. I know, right? Just TC is the only one that's missing.
Yeah.
How's that? Well, first off, how are you? How's the holiday? How was Thanksgiving?
It's been good, man. Thanksgiving was a little odd. I assume most people were probably traveling, or that's what I assumed.
Sure.
More than anything else, people were traveling for that holiday specifically. So we weren't super busy by any means. It was also my very first holiday as a GM.
Oh.
So it was kind of cool that I wasn't nuts by any means. Less room for failure in that kind of situation.
I mean, bad for business, but also probably nice to be able to breathe and enjoy the holiday a little bit.
Yeah, not only that, but like I was able to take a lot of notes, things that are coming up for Christmas, and where I fell short, or didn't prepare, or just marketing and just promoting it more than anything else.
Sure.
So I'm excited for Christmas. We've got sort of a menu prepared already, but we've already got like the marketing materials, and so I think it's gonna be a much bigger, more organized event.
Nice
for the restaurant. And I love Christmas, so the day
I'm glad.
Yeah. I love Christmas.
I decorated accordingly.
Yeah. And so with that being said, like we pretty much got the core of our menu settled, ready to go. We've got the marketing materials all ready to go. And so I think it's going to be a little bit more of an event than Thanksgiving was this time.
Okay.
So.
Was this a bad time of year to have your chef leave? Without talking, not in a negative way towards Bobby, because when that comes across, you take that job. But just like looking at the calendar, was it a bad part of the year to have your chef leave?
It's not the best time by any means. At the same time, though, he did leave us menus.
That's awesome.
He's like, hey, I want to make sure y'all can finish out these 3 holidays that are coming up strong. Don't have to worry about those. So he
What was the third? When did he leave? Was he talking about New Year's, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And so it'll be on the new chef to do Valentine's Day, which is always a big holiday for sure. Any kind of restaurant.
Date night and all that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. You convert all your tables into 2 tops.
100%. Yeah. No one's doing a 4-top or a 6-top on
It's rare.
Valentine's
I mean,
Day.
it does happen, but sometimes double dates and things like that go on. But it's 90% 2 tops.
Sure.
So it's a little bit easier menu to figure out because it's not a family holiday. It's a couple holiday.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
From a GM standpoint, what's different about the holidays than any of the normal, other 50 weeks of the year or whatever leading up to?
Good question. I think larger parties for sure. More company parties. Families are going out more. Usually, with something like Lowood, or I don't want to speak for these other restaurants, but a lot of times they're destination spots for couples and date nights and things like that. First dates, married couple dates, those kind of things. I think the holidays, though, they are bringing in family, and so, I mean, I don't want to say like the pressure's on by any means, just because I try to run things
the same kind of
the expectation of
yeah.
the consistency that I want and I expect and what the guest expects. And but you just also have to understand it's like, hey, we've got 60 on the books for a Tuesday, but 40 of that is 3 different parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where it's not going to be 2 people or 8, 2 people walking in at 7, and then at 7:30 you got a 4 top and then a 2 top and a 2 top. Like you're gonna have a 12 top walk in, and then another 12 top walk in, then a 10 top, and then 4s and 6s coming in.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to approach it a little bit differently. You got to plan way more in advance for that kind of thing.
Sure.
You got to make sure that you're answering the emails and you're
asking for reservations and
all
that.
Yeah, 100%. You got to kind of retrain what your hosts and whoever's answering the phone says on the phone, asking very specific questions. Tasting menu, allergies, dietary restrictions. You want to make sure that those people that are hosting their family get the best possible experience they can. So
I thought this would be fun to sip on as we talk. So this is a Crown Royal hand-selected barrel. So it's a private barrel from Crown, which I'd never had before.
Yeah.
And I got it at Peter, your bar manager's liquor store at Sheridan Liquors. So to me, it, Crown has a very Canadian whiskey taste because it's a Canadian whiskey. Mm-hmm. This to me comes across a lot more. Let me taste it again before I say that. Yeah. A lot more like a bourbon than a Crown. Which, if you know me, I'm here for.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have like a lot of experience drinking Crown. I've served it a lot. Mm-hmm. I've served a lot of their variations as well. It's kind of funny. I remember there was a time where you couldn't get Crown.
Really?
Yeah, and so I ordered a whole case of it. And I've sat on that case for about a year, but I finally moved through it. I mean, people will drink it. I don't mind it by any means. But this is different, and I didn't know they did something like this.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
First time I'd ever seen it was when I went to visit Peter at Sheridan, and he opened a bottle so that he had like a taster bottle in the back. Mm-hmm. And to me, it doesn't, like Canadian whiskey has a unique, almost like a single malt, obviously not like a single malt, but that's unique, and Canadian's unique. Just like Jameson and Irish is unique. But this to me, the vanilla on the back end and stuff, it just reminded me more of a bourbon than it did.
Yeah, I wonder if they leave it in the barrel longer. It's almost got like this butterscotch to it too. Yeah, as well.
You could do some fun things pairing with that.
Yeah, I mean,
dessert wise and stuff.
For sure. Yeah, there's definitely barrel notes on that where. On most Canadian whiskey, I can't remember exactly what their law is. I think it is minimum of 3, maybe 2. When the larger production distilleries kind of go with the minimum to get the
pump out product. Yeah.
So I mean, this is good though.
So we might as well explain to people your background because you obviously know a lot about alcohol. So you weren't just the GM at a restaurant. So take me back. Before that, you were a bar manager at Lowood.
Yeah.
Was before that technically Hodges, or was it?
No, there was some gaps.
Okay.
So I like to take it to break it up into 3 different tours of
there
Hodges
we go.
Bends.
Give me your tour. Give me your lineage here.
So I started out on Brookside, bartending at Cosmo Cafe.
I missed that place.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
It was a fun time. I had some really good people that taught me, because I'd never worked in the service industry before. I did when I was 14 years old. I was a cashier and dishwasher at Miss D's Country Kitchen on on 15th Street. Not Cherry Street, 15th Street. This is over in East Tulsa. And but I was a young kid, and then went to work at a grocery store and retail and things like that, and then played music for a long time, toured and played in different bands, and then I did. This is always the joke that I make, but I did what every sensible failed musician does, and you become a bartender.
Right.
So I did that. Started working at Cosmo Cafe. Walked in there with essentially no restaurant experience whatsoever. I just told them, hey, I've never worked in a restaurant or bar before, but I want to learn how to do so. I did something that I recommend to any person who's trying to find their first job in the service industry is I made a copy of my driver's license, social security card, able license, and food handler's permit.
And just walked in with it? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's how you get hired on the spot.
Yep, and I did.
Yeah.
And so I worked there as like a server, for about a month and a half, 2 months. And then a buddy of mine came in who he did the lights at Vanguard. And he was like, hey, man, like, do you know any bartenders who can bartend like 3 weeks from now? And I did what every server who wants to become a bartender does. You lie and you say, I can bartend.
I can totally do that,
I can definitely do that.
Yeah.
And so I lied, and he was like, cool, be here on this day at this time. I was like, you got it. And that was my very first bartending shift.
And for the next 2 weeks, you YouTubed how to make certain cocktails.
Yep. Learned how to pour a drink, learned how to free poured, learned how to make certain shots. I've been going to bars before that,
Sure.
I mean, I kind of like knew the nature of them. But for me, like knowing how to free pour, because they didn't use jiggers back then at all. But there was like no YouTube videos on how to use a POS. Like
also
this is still
true.
like the early days of YouTube kind of thing.
Right. When are we talking?
Like 2000 and I don't know, 13.
Okay.
12, something like that.
Yeah, it was early YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of informative videos, but like there wasn't what it is today.
Yep.
There wasn't like 100,000. Instagram didn't even exist, that kind of thing. So for you to go on there, like you had to make sure that you were getting the right info and it made sense. But watched some YouTube videos for 2 weeks and went in there confident on the outside, terrified on the inside.
Sure.
And then, but I did well, and I made really good money that night. It was a sold out show of 500 people. It was me and one other bartender, or it was one other bartender and me, I should say, because I was not a bartender. And
but you hit it.
Yeah, I mean,
well.
I did well, and
Do you remember? Did you have an oh shit where someone ordered something and you were like, oh fuck?
Oh yeah, and it's kind of a running joke with several bartenders I've worked in the past. This guy came up and asked for a liquid marijuana, and
I would be lost.
Yeah,
I mean green, so Midori,
right?
So am I right?
Yeah.
Hey-o.
But
I would have probably just given him Midori.
Right, yeah.
There you go, buddy.
But I remember in the moment, like, so like the band's playing, it's packed. I'm saying, like, there's no bar back. It's 500 people. The sold out. Like, this show is sold out. And it's just me and one other guy. And it's like a U-shaped kind of thing. Like an incomplete square, because you have your back bar. And then, but our backs are facing, we're back to back.
Right.
And you have to yell because the band's playing. It's loud and it's a lot of fun. I had a blast. The band was great. It was that band, My So-Called Band.
Was it? Yeah, they're awesome.
They were awesome.
Great show.
Oh man, and they were so nice too. Like they tipped the hell out of me. It was great.
That's awesome.
But I remember this guy came up and asked for a liquid marijuana. I had heard of the drink, but I never had it before. And so I was like, "Yeah, man, you got it."
But I don't.
Yeah,
but
and like
got it.
I and like it wasn't like easy to like just pull up things on your cell phone in the moment or anything like that,
It
And
was probably a flip phone with not a smartphone.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right. I turned to the back bar. I did exactly what you did. I'm like, all right, what's green? Something's green. I was like, Midori, got it.
Yep.
So I just grabbed that.
Let me guess. I would have gone like some sort of pineapple or something.
I think I probably put pineapple in there.
Yeah, some sort of like orange or pineapple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I put triple sec in it. I know that.
Okay.
I put vodka in it, which is completely wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. At that point, I would have been gone. I wouldn't have known what else to do.
Yeah.
So what is a liquid marijuana?
So I did look it up several weeks later, and I was like, oh, what actually is in that drink? But let me finish that story.
Yeah,
I remember I was like, yeah, man, you got it. So I was like, turned to the back bar. And I was like, what's green? And you're right. I was like, Midori. I just found the first green bottle I could.
Sure.
I didn't know it was Midori. I didn't know what it tasted
wasn't
like.
Jaeger or something.
I had no clue. And I didn't know what it tasted like. I didn't know what it was. Now I find, it's a melon liqueur, and somehow it's making this weird comeback.
Is it?
Yeah, a little bit. We do not carry it at Lowood. Not to say we're not going to in the future, but
I was going to come order a Midori sour. What do you mean?
Man, I'm not above it by any means, but I've had one. They're not bad. I don't know if you'd call it a sour.
No, you wouldn't. What would you call that?
Daisy cocktail, really. But anyway, yeah, so I just grabbed that, and I grabbed a bottle of vodka, some pineapple juice, Sprite, triple sec, put it all in the glass, and he's like, I'll never forget this, dude. I gave it to him. He takes a drink, the guest, and like, it's like best liquid marijuana ever. And I was like, yeah, man, you got it. That'll be, $10. Thanks, man. What's the name on the tab? And just move along. And it was a lot of fun. My very first bartending shift was a blast. It was a blast because I only worked for about 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I made a lot of money. And so at the end of the night, when I got cashed out, I was just like,
I'm doing this.
I will be back.
Yeah.
I am doing this, man. And it was, that was definitely a honeymoon kind of thing. But I'm glad I had a fun experience my first time doing it.
Sure.
And
or who knows, you might not have gone down that road.
Yeah. I mean, I might have just been like, you know what, screw this.
If you had gotten your ass kicked all night and then made $200,
yeah. I mean, honestly, though, like, even if I probably would have got my ass kicked and gotten, $200, I probably still would have done it. But like, if I would have worked for 8 hours and made 35, which I've done before, those are rough days.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have gone back.
That's fair.
I probably would have figured something else out. But who knows where that would have taken me. But I'm glad I've got the knowledge that I've got now, and I've got the experience and these stories that I can tell to people. Because they're a lot of fun. I've been doing this. I've been doing this for about a decade now in downtown, and so it's. I'm never going to say it's. I won't say it's. There's never a dull moment because that's just not true. Mm-hmm. But it is. Usually for me anyway, I find a lot of joy in it.
Sure.
So
from there, did that get you into kind of the craft cocktail world eventually? Like that was your door to step into cocktails? Yeah.
So I did that, went back to Cosmo, and I was like, hey, I can bartend now. If I can handle that, I can handle this, and it was a different style of bartending, don't get me wrong, but I was able to handle Cosmo pretty well. I did pretty well there. Gained up a little bit of a following, and then left there. Where did I go after that? Oh, that's right. I went to a specific downtown hotel. I lasted about 3 weeks there. I broke a really dumb policy that they have, and then moved on, and it wasn't what I thought it was going to be anyway, so I was glad I was out. And then I was out of a job for about 2 weeks, and all I did was walk around downtown for 2 weeks, handing out my resume. I would go, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday between 2 and 4. It took me about 4 or 5 trips because I didn't have a car. I just walked, handed my resume around, and so I lived up on Crybaby Hill at the time, and so I started in that corner downtown and just slowly made my way down. In the very last bar, that was completely catty corner from me as far as downtown goes, was Hodges Bend. And I walked in, I handed my resume to Kevin Nadeau.
Kev.
Yep. And I did the same thing that I did with Cosmo. The last page of my resume was the copy of my driver's license, social security card, able license, and food handler's permit. And he's like, oh, you want a job like right now? And I was like, I had to have a job right now. He was like, cool, come in for an interview tomorrow. Interviewed with Jamie Jennings and Leslie Nelson and got the job, and
the rest is history.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
Worked there for about 3.5, 4 years.
Is that where I met you?
Yep.
Was it Hodges?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I met a lot of people, man. I met a lot of friends, a lot of future coworkers, some girlfriends, things like that. But I always appreciated my time at Hodges Bend.
Sure.
You know, especially those first like 3 and 4 years, I learned a lot, really grew my craft and my skills and my following and career there. And I'm very thankful that I got a job there. You know, they took a massive risk on me as far as I'm concerned, because Valkyrie already existed. You know, Mixco already existed.
It's amazing how that culture, not to interrupt you, but that culture pushes the other. So like if you're Hodges, you're pushed by, you know, we can't say Mixco anymore since, you know, RIP Mixco, but you're pushed by Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And by Saturn Room in a different way. I mean, Tiki Bar's a little different and it's part of the same family, but still.
Yeah.
You
but
know,
the thought process there, like having a very
and
good...
Valkyrie's pushed by the other two and Saturn is pushed by the other two.
Yeah, and it was always kind of odd, like where people thought that Hodges and Valkyrie were at war with each other at one point, and I was like, that's I don't know if that's ever been the case. I mean,
actually vaguely remember that.
Yeah, there was like this rumor going around,
or like went on, or
yeah, like they didn't go on.
Well, but they were.
People were making up in their head,
right.
You know, and I'm like, I go there like 3 times a week for a drink after work.
Because when you leave Hodges, you're not going to sit at Hodges. I mean, you might have a shifty, but if you go out afterwards, you're not going to go out to where you just got off work.
Yeah,
you're going to go to Valkyrie.
I was like, no, I'm going to Valkyrie, man. They're great people. You know, it's been a little bit different in the most recently. Like, I don't really go out that much to cocktail bars that much anymore. Like, I will go to. Sorry,
that's okay. It happens.
Kale is calling me, but either way.
So you don't go to cocktail bars?
I mean, not really. I mean, I'll go, but I'll go to cocktail bars, but I don't really order cocktails that much.
Interesting.
Yeah, I order a beer and a shot, or you know, a highball of some kind, maybe.
I've kind of gotten into the same. The only place where I won't do that is Hodges and Valkyrie. Actually,
yeah.
Like I'll trust Tanner if he's working to be
for sure.
Oh, hey, what did I see on Instagram? You guys were doing this or that. He's like, oh yeah, that's this. Like, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean,
or
like
Hodges, I'll get a coffee cocktail.
Oh, absolutely.
If I need one.
Yeah.
But then I'll do my go-to any bar now is an ounce or an ounce and a half, depending on what their pour is, of some bourbon that I want to try, and then some Pilsner.
Yeah.
Of some sort.
That's pretty much mine as well.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like I still love cocktails. If there's something that's very interesting that I see, or I've never really seen like anyone or a bartender, I've never seen them do that. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I'll try and make it a point to go try it. Case in point, like probably my favorite cocktail in downtown Tulsa right now is St. Vitus's Cosmopolitan.
Really?
Oh my God. Like it's unbelievably good.
What about it makes you like how does it stand out?
Yeah.
Amongst other Cosmos, other than being kegged. And
yeah. So it's not a Cosmo. They just call it that. It has the resemblance in the color of a Cosmo. It looks familiar, but when you actually drink it, it tastes nothing like a Cosmo. So
if you were to side by side it with other Cosmos, it just wouldn't even be in that family?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, you'd easily tell the difference. Okay. I think it's kind of cool that they named it a Cosmo, honestly. I think that's kind of...
A little bit of a middle finger, too.
Yeah, a little bit interesting, but I don't think a Cosmo is also a bad cocktail. You know, it's got a great history as far as I'm concerned, the Cosmopolitan. A really, really cool history, in fact. But St. Vitus is that drink, whatever they want to call it, you know, if they were to release that drink at Valkyrie and call it something else, that would still probably be one of my favorite drinks in Tulsa.
Okay.
It's made with pisco. I'm assuming lemon juice, some kind of like either lemon or lime. But it's also got this really cool ingredient, Thai bitters. And that's what makes a drink, in my personal opinion.
Is that almost lemongrassy? What would a Thai bitters taste like?
It's almost like chili bitters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, my mind went to either lemongrass or peanuts. And I was like, I don't know if either one of those would
like
work.
The spice end of Thai.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Not the savory part, but like the spice end.
Gotcha.
And it gives like this, like the perfect kick.
I got to go try that now because they also make my favorite. I don't know if you can call it a drink.
Okay.
And I don't take shots.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But
yeah, I know where you're going.
The bump shot.
Yeah, it's great.
Is the single best shot. I guess you have to call it a shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the name.
It is.
The single best shot, I'll say in the state of Oklahoma, possibly the country.
Okay.
Because it's just like good.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
it's
no,
not like
you are not wrong. It
Yeah.
is absolutely delicious.
For those that don't know, it's double shot concentrate.
Chinar and
Thank you.
tequila.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I forgot the other two.
Yeah, and I think there's another really good shot as well out there at Hodges Ben's. This is a little inside secret to bartenders.
Inside baseball? Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit. It is, and I don't know, I don't know if the bartenders there will still will know what it is. Adam's there, so he'll know what it is.
And if I find Noah, okay.
Maybe.
Valid point.
Yeah.
maybe.
But just a shot of the Irish coffee mix.
Really?
Yeah, it's cold brew, Demerara, and Irish whiskey.
Sean of the coffee?
Yeah, I mean, it's
it?
literally Irish coffee shot.
Okay.
But there's just no cream and it's not heated up. So it's almost like the size of a cold brew shot.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like the size of a
bump shot.
A bump shot. But it's Irish whiskey and Demerara and cold brew. And
that sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
Sounds very similar to a bump shot.
Yeah, I think there's more alcohol in the bump shot, which is fine. But they're both really, really good.
Yeah.
But I remember days off, hey, I'm about to go hit the town, but I want a little bit of caffeine. And I'm not a big Red Bull vodka fan.
No, I can't. I get, dude, for my bartending days in college, if I smell Red Bull, I can't even drink it anymore.
Oh, wow.
If I smell it, it just takes me back to cleaning up Red Bull vodkas.
Yeah, makes sense.
And just, no.
Yeah, no good.
I'm good.
Yeah, sorry if I'm giving away some trade secrets here on the Hodges Bend area, but the Hodges Bend Irish coffee shot is pretty great too.
I have to try that.
Yeah.
Before we move on, you brought a whale of a bottle.
Yeah. So like you mentioned before, you had Bobby Benjamin on. He had his restaurant in Louisville, Kentucky. And me and him got along as soon as he started just bonding over bourbon. He doesn't drink that much bourbon anymore. More of a wine guy. And then once he lost all of his taste buds for a second, he was more of a water guy.
Yeah, hold on. Let's pause here because it was right after he was on the podcast. It wasn't long after that.
Yeah.
He got, and I'm saying this to you, but I'm really saying it to everyone listening and watching. He got, was it burning mouth syndrome?
Yep.
Is that what it was actually called?
Mm-hmm.
So the way, and you can take the ball and run with it after I say this, but the way I understood it, or TC, your predecessor at the GM role at Lowood, told me, was that it felt like his mouth, like that feeling when you burn your mouth on pizza, like that uncomfortable burn was there almost 24/7.
Yeah.
As a chef, how in the world do you, because he couldn't drink anything acidic.
Right. So no coffee.
No coffee.
No wine.
No
beer.
No alcohol.
None.
I mean, for the most part.
At all.
And then I'm not sure food-wise, I mean, there's a lot of acid in what you do as a chef.
And not only that, but especially in his dishes,
yeah,
there's a lot of acid, which I always appreciate as a bartender. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he basically just kind of relied on his history and knowledge, on his experience.
That's incredible.
Just to know what's tried and true. He's I mean, if you've been in the trade long enough, if you've been in the game long enough, you can kind of just write something out and it's going to work. I mean,
how many new dishes did he create during that time?
The entire menu. He completely redid the whole menu. Yeah,
when he couldn't taste it.
Oh no! At that time, no. I'm sorry.
No,
I
meant while he was dealing with the burning mouth.
I mean, probably 3 or 4, if I remember.
You blew my mind for a minute.
Oh no!
Menu?
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the entire time he was there.
No.
So yeah, since when he got diagnosed with burning mouth syndrome, I probably want to say he did at least 3 or 4, maybe up to 6 menu items, and then definitely some specials. That were always off menu. At the same time, though, he definitely relied on his team to try them. He had to trust in them. It's hey, I can try it, and I can get certain flavors out of it, and viscosity, mouthfeel, texture, those things. But as far as flavor goes, there's probably certain things that he didn't want to taste.
Yeah.
Maybe because it was painful or because he couldn't taste them. I'm not really sure. But I know he relied on myself, TC and other people within the kitchen to make sure everything was good and squared away.
And
he's a trooper.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
The thing that scared me is, I was like, oh, cool. Like, how do you, like, what medicine do you take?
Yeah.
And TC was like, oh, there is no cure.
Right.
And there's no treatment, really.
Not really.
And it could last for up to 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, holy shit. Like,
yeah.
what?
And I was like, you got to be kidding me, my guy. But, I mean, Bobby was a professional. I mean, like, the dude, he knew what to do. He knew how to make food. He knew how to write a menu. He also knew how to train people so he could trust them, you know, in the kitchen.
That came in clutch.
Yeah. You know, and that's what being a very good chef or head bartender or GM is being able to train people and then trust in the training that you gave them, so therefore you can rely on them.
I mean, that exceeds outside of the boundaries of the service industry.
Yep.
I mean, for any good boss.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, here, my whole goal is to hire people that are better than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if they're as good as me, then we have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to find, like...
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%. And
same
with the bartender, you know, same with, a bar manager or anything like that. You always want to be able to get everyone that wants to and is capable of to your level.
Yeah.
As much as you can. At the end of the day, it's up to them if they want to get there. But you also want to give them everything you possibly can.
Sure.
You know, to get to that level as well. So, yeah.
We got squirreled off, though, because we started on the bottle. So Bobby, his love of bourbon, how did you get your hands on that?
Yeah, so me and him just kind of talked about it. Just talked about bourbon for a little while, and so it's kind of funny. I listened to that podcast that y'all did, and it was kind of funny. Y'all both said like, anyone who like enjoys bourbon doesn't shoot bourbon,
right?
And I was like, I disagree.
Are you the one?
Yeah, like I definitely shoot bourbon, dude. Like, and it was so funny when I heard that. I was like, Bobby knows I shoot bourbon. What is he talking about, man? And I also enjoy it.
Maybe there's a difference between bourbons you shoot. Like, you're not going to shoot.
I'm not going to shoot this.
Right. You're not going to shoot a Dusty Turkey. You're not going to shoot a Pappy. You're not going to shoot, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess, so technically then I'm with you as well.
Yeah. I will shoot bourbon.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll shoot Jim Beam. I'll shoot Evan Williams
exactly.
Black Label.
Okay.
And it's so funny whenever.
Hell, I did it.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Nope. When did the U.S. play? Friday.
Yeah.
I did it Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, because bourbon is an American invention, you know, and so, of course, like you're going to drink to salute to America in that scenario. But it just kind of, I was like,
that is funny.
It was just kind of funny when I heard Bobby say that. I'm like, you see me shoot bourbon. Like, you bought me a shot of bourbon, man.
I think
like, what are you talking
we're both
about?
in the headspace of like,
drinking good bourbon,
high-end,
I don't
good
recommend
bourbon.
shooting it.
Yeah.
There's notes in there. It's it can be an expensive product to buy, and a lot of love and care goes into it. So you don't want to like just use it to get drunk.
Right. So what is that?
I mean,
bottle?
you can
Describe that bottle.
Yep. So this is Heaven Hill bourbon, 6-year bottle and bonds. They still make this. You can buy it brand new, but the cool thing about this bottle is it came from this Heaven Hill distillery that does like Buffalo Trace and Blanton's and Eagle Rare and all those guys. And then I'm sorry, I think I'm wrong on that. That's Buffalo Trace distillery. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Heaven Hill does. What else do they do? Am I gonna have to Google this?
Maybe. Sorry, I can't think of it now.
You're good. You're good. Keep telling the story, and I'll
but yeah,
chime
like,
in.
but basically, this bottle comes from the distillery. They had a massive fire in 1996, but this bottle was done before then. So it's worth some money. I'm not exactly
so.
I'm not exactly sure how much by any means. I've talked to a couple buddies of mine who are bourbon collectors. And they were like, well, you know, it could be between this and this. Since I've already drank from it with a couple of friends of mine, it's probably not worth as much as it could have been on craps.
Yeah.
But
I'm really excited to try that. And this is blowing my mind. Like, I know I've had the Heaven Hill 17 recently, which was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. They do still make the bottled and bond, obviously. But I didn't realize they're Henry McKenna, which I didn't realize, Rittenhouse Rye, Larceny, Old Fitzgerald, Parker's Heritage, Pikesville, and Elijah Craig.
Okay, that's it. Elijah Craig.
And then Evan Williams as well.
Yeah.
That's a huge portfolio.
Massive.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of Elijah Craig as well. Larceny is great too. I think we're getting a single barrel
nice.
bottle of Larceny here soon at the restaurant too. So, but yeah, this is a really, really good bottle. It's, what is that? Yeah, it's 30 years old.
30 years old.
Yeah.
Jeez, man.
At least. I'm not sure when it was actually made.
I appreciate you bringing that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, bourbon's meant to be shared.
No, 100%. And that I get so mad when I see, you know where I'm going with this.
Exactly
when you see the people, I love the bourbon community. There's people I watch on YouTube. Thank you. Cheers. We'll actually cheers this one after you fill your glass.
It's my very first podcast, man. We got to celebrate.
I know, right? So I follow, I'm a Patreon of the Bourbon Junkies. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
And I, order some of their barrel picks and all that. And I'm in Spirits of Legend and stuff here in town with Keller Strauss and some guys that frequent Lowood.
Okay.
But the people that buy bourbon and either to flip it or just sit on it.
Yeah.
And they show you their collection. Like, oh, look, I got this. And it's all waxed. It's all closed. It's all unopened. And I'm like, well, cool. What do you drink?
Right. What do you drink? I'm very curious about this.
Every bottle I have 2 bottles, I think, in my house that I haven't opened yet. And it's not for any special reason.
Yeah.
It's just that I have 80 other bottles that I just need to get through. But what are they? One is a Weller barrel pick.
Okay.
Which that's a cool bottle.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't know when I'm going to open it, but I will. I'll drink it. And the other's an E.H. Taylor, I think.
Okay.
And I just found it at B&B Liquor down in Mingo, a couple months ago. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, it's the 71st in Mingo?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a funny story about that place. I got stuck in the snow one time there and was able to make it in, and I got 3 bottles of wine, and I drank 2.5 and on Christmas Eve. And then it was not a good Christmas day. But I got stuck in that parking lot for an hour and a half.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's a good place to get stuck, though.
Yeah, it was terrible. But I was like, well, I got wine just waiting for me. But yeah.
Is this, so bottled and bond, it has to be 100 proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has to be 100 proof, aged at least 2 years. But it also has to be aged and stored in a government regulated warehouse.
That's right.
Yep.
Man, that's delicious.
Back in the day, people were making really bad whiskey, coloring it when it was not really technically whiskey.
Dude, that is so good.
Yeah.
It is so smooth.
It's so good, dude. I'm not a massive fan of hot bourbon or whiskey or anything like that, typically, especially drinking it neat. But this is...
I wouldn't want to fuck this up in any way. I wouldn't want to put water in it, ice in it. I mean, maybe the droppers, and that's the one thing I love about Valkyrie. And does Hodges do that too? I can't remember. But give you the little droppers of water so you don't have to put a cube in there or something.
I don't know if they do that, but I'm sure they could
figure it out.
I mean, give a glass of water.
I do it with a straw.
Yeah, I mean, I just put my finger and throw a dash in there.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I'm a very casual...
you shoot this bourbon, so whatever.
No, I do not shoot this by any means. I do not shoot this. But, I mean, it's such a funny joke. I remember hearing this stand-up comic. I forget who his name is, but he had this joke where he was like, hear those stories about people that they can never drink tequila, they can never drink Jaeger, they can never drink rum or, whatever. It's if I smell it, like you said, with Red Bull,
right.
It's I'll get sick. And it's that, and he goes, that's how I plan to quit drinking, one at a time. And it's but there's one thing about bourbon, it's got so much character, I don't know how you could almost stay away from it. It's just, I mean, not in the addictive sense, but
no, I'm with you.
It's so tasty.
And there's so many different facets of it that if you're tired of one, go try another.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
go to
vodka,
Scotch.
you can't really do that.
Yeah, go to Scotch and then come back.
Yeah.
Or go, whatever.
Yeah, 100%. And not only that, but you can also there's cocktails with it too. And my favorite. I mean, if you ever catch me out drinking at all, it's probably going to be an old fashioned of some kind.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Even if I go to Saturn and I ask for rum old fashions.
Do you?
Yeah.
If I get a cocktail, it's I have one that Scotty makes me at Hemingway.
Okay.
Have you been down there at the bar? So
Yeah.
they have that smoke box.
In fact, the first time I went down there was the first guy I shared this bottle with.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know how they have that smoke box up on the bar? And so he smokes a Vieux Carré for me.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I bet that's delicious.
Which is basically, for those that don't know, like a French version of an old fashioned.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, pretty much just get like old fashioned Manhattan.
Yeah.
Kind of variant.
Yeah.
I think it means old square.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Carré. Yeah.
I'm an old square.
Yeah, so it's got your 3 spirits and then your bitter or Benedictine, so 4 points and old square.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get a Vieux Carré or a old fashioned or a Manhattan, just depending on, maybe a Negroni.
Sure.
But I live in that world.
Yeah.
If I'm going to get a cocktail, if I don't have a choice, if it's like a wedding or if there's something where they're making a couple cocktails or they have shitty beer, I'll do an old fashioned or Negroni or something like that.
Yeah, I'll usually do an old fashioned and a shitty beer.
It's a great combo.
It is.
And I meant to bring beer. I forgot.
Oh, that's okay. But I mean, like, yeah, as far as beer goes, like I'm on your side. Like I'm always a Pilsner guy.
Yeah.
It's a palate cleanser for me. Almost
That's why Heirloom is high on my list of favorite breweries, because Jake is a lager man.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate.
Yeah, I do too.
And I love Solera and I love, all of them. But there's only so many stouts and so many,
Yeah, I mean, this
adjuncts that I can drink.
They get weighty,
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes at the end of a day, like you just want to have something familiar, and there's nothing wrong with that. I always felt bad, like when I worked at Hodges, like people would come in, it's like I can't call it sticker shock. It's not that. It's more like they would walk in and it's like they'd never been to a bar like that, like that kind of back bar, and just see how much is going on. It's like, it's all right. We're just bartenders. What do you like?
I can imagine it happens at Valkyrie a lot.
Oh,
with
I'm
that
sure.
wall of
I can only imagine.
bourbon and
and
bottles. Yeah.
Yeah, and you got to be able to. That's where hospitality comes in. Making people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Not looking down on them because they don't know what you don't like. What because they probably do a whole job that you don't know either.
100%.
And it's not their fault. And they're trying something new. And it's up to you to make them feel comfortable in trying something new.
Yeah.
And that's what bars and restaurants should be about, in my personal opinion.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Lowood as we start to go towards the wrapping up part of the podcast here. Let's talk holidays. Well, before we talk holiday season, happy hour. Bro. I had to say something about happy hour. So you had this thing, for those that don't know, it was it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? It was those 3 nights, right?
Yeah, it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we did.
It's like a late happy hour.
Yeah, we did. 8:30 to 10. This no longer happens, by the way.
Which is the point of me bringing it up.
I'm just reminding everyone not to show up at 8:30 because it truly did suck, man.
What was the thought process behind? Because there were times like it became Wednesday night. It was my thing. And not only my thing, it was Noah's thing and Jake's thing. And, it was just, that bar was full Wednesday nights. So what was the thought process behind?
Because even with a full bar, let's say it happens once a week, right? Or it got halfway full once a week for that happy hour. Unfortunately, without giving too much detail away, I'm not really sure like how much I'm allowed to say, but the profit margin was like,
well, food cost is high.
Yeah, it's like just razor thin, and it's just like I wouldn't say we're like losing money by any means, but like in that specific program, I'm like, it was not generating enough revenue for the amount of stress it was putting on the staff, not just the stress, but like the numbers didn't make sense.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and
because not being there and not being in it, I would think having being able to count on a full bar late at night at least once a week. But not knowing the cost and the profit margin and understanding the stress on the kitchen, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
because then you're having a bunch more dishes that are half price, because that was the deal. We didn't say that, but it was half price pasta and like $5 glass of wine. Basically.
Yeah, and the thing was, is like it wasn't just in there where people were ordering pasta. The restaurant also could have been full.
Sure.
In ordering pasta.
Sure.
And it's like we only got so many burners, you know, and if 20 people show up in 10 minutes for this one thing, and they pretty much all order at the same time, and then you got all these other people in the rest of the restaurant
that are actually paying full price for
full
what they're
price,
eating. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, all right, who do you prioritize here?
100%.
You know, and
that actually does make perfect sense.
You know, there was a lot of different factors that went into it. I will be doing something new for happy hour. I really wanted to start doing some flights. I want to do some Amaro flights, and what I really want to do is some vermouth flights.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of vermouth. That is my spring, summertime drink. That's my favorite thing to drink in the summertime is vermouth and soda and lemon juice, man. It's the best. And so there will be a new thing. Unfortunately, it was awesome. I mean,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the hell out of it while it lasted.
and I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I did too. Like even when I was back behind the bar, you know, serving you and Noah and Jake and all those people. We had regulars that come in, you know, all the time for that.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's like if we're just breaking even, if I can figure out another way to do something just as cool. Because I really want to develop a bar menu or some kind of happy hour menu as well. It'll be a little bit more traditional. It'll probably be right when we open, that kind of thing. But I want to do Amaro flights, vermouth flights. I would love to do some like maybe some wine flights. I think that'd be kind of cool too.
That'd be really cool.
We're not a huge beer spot. We're much more wine and cocktails and vermouth and Amaro, and maybe do some like very small plates that accompany those things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, we have a new chef that's coming in very soon.
Can we talk about that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
We won't.
Okay. But like within at least like a week, he'll be in
Because
there.
I know who it is. I just didn't know if we could talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, we won't.
I
don't want to get you in trouble, so we won't.
I don't think we can, but
Fair.
He's a very good chef. I've always wanted to work with him. I've known him for years. And I'm excited to like whoever it would be, even if it wasn't this person, like whoever the chef is, like I want to create something new for the happy hour kind of thing. Because it was like what we did earlier, you know, like we were just talking about, it was kind of a copycat of what we did in 2019.
Yep.
Where food costs were way better. And so it was no big deal for us to have that happy hour going on. But it created more problems than it solved, I think.
That's fair. The reason I enjoyed it was as a single person, right? I feel like if I come and eat, and I know a lot of this is a byproduct of what we just talked about, right? The rising food costs and all that stuff. But it's, I mean, like Lowood is a special occasion place to go eat when it's, especially if you're by yourself.
For sure.
I mean, like what?
Yeah.
You know, if I go eat there by myself, I'm probably spending close to $100, give or take, with a drink and an appetizer and a salad and an entree. And so, you know, for me to be able to go and get that quality of food at a price point that wasn't outlandish, you know, I could do it once a week. And I enjoyed that because I got to see you, I got to see Peter, I got to see, you know, see people. So that was the main benefit to me. And when it went away, it was like, yeah, the pasta goes away and that sucks because that pasta was delicious. But it was, I knew like, damn, I'm not going to like eat at Lowood as much right now, you know.
But just so you know, like the spirit of the happy hour will remain the same regardless.
100%. Yeah.
And
like, I have eaten there since.
Yeah, of course.
And I will.
Yeah. And I
just
appreciate
not every
that.
week.
I get that. Yeah.
Right.
But like, I want to have like either a happy hour menu or a bar menu of some kinds. Hell, there might even be a pasta on there, like maybe just like a smaller portion, know, where it's not necessarily technically half off, but it definitely was one of the best deals in town.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I do miss it. I mean, I miss the camaraderie. Like I miss like, especially like when I was behind the bar, like
it had to be fun.
Oh, it was a blast. I mean,
Because it was literally like
great.
we called it Browood
Yeah.
on Wednesdays because it was the same group.
Yeah,
of
that's
guys.
right. Yeah, it was like it was like Jake and you and Noah and TC would come in.
Sometimes Chip would be there.
Chip would be
Dustin Brazel
yeah,
would be
Dustin,
there with his jiu-jitsu guys. Like it was literally just a bar full of bros.
Yeah, it was a good time, man, and I fucking loved it. Dude.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I always had a blast, you know. And I remember, like, I think one time, like you, not this year, but like when it was first going on, I think you bought me like a shot of, you know, Chinar for my birthday and, like, during those, you know, like that's the best thing about being a bartender is the camaraderie that you get
For sure.
from your regulars, bros, or, you know, even if you don't know them. Like I've got even post-pandemic kind of thing, people that have come in after that, they become regulars, and I've got to know them, and
that's cool.
I've gone to their restaurants that are not even Tulsa. Like there's this great couple that comes in, and they live out in Owasso, and they work at Hideaway, but they love Lowood.
That's
and they
awesome.
come in probably once a week.
I actually met them.
Yeah.
The guy is just a cool, like, kind of earthy, hippie, like dude.
Yeah. And like he used to bring me ingredients. Like, hey, can you make something with this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happened when I was there.
Yeah. I mean, just cool people like that. That it gives me hope that people still want to enjoy food and enjoy wine and cocktails, and it makes me happy that people will still come to like Lowood and come to me or go to Hodges. Because we have like our own little neighborhood over there.
Yep.
And then people will come in and be like, oh, I get it. It's so funny to me. Bartenders used to get really upset when people called them mixologists, and I don't understand why.
Really?
Yeah. It was kind of odd because the people that called bartenders who really took, I mean, like, they took it seriously, but like they also like expanded their knowledge on it. People came up with this word to differentiate the two. And I don't see what the problem is with that. You know, like I've got friends that are bartenders and they have no interest in like mixology.
Right.
But they're my favorite bartender because they're great at what they do. Like their service is phenomenal, you know, but they're like, I'm not really into like coming up with cocktails.
So is that the origin of that word?
As far as I know.
A mixologist, someone that,
yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it, that would create, and
They
a
start
bartender
creating
is something
things.
that would just serve, right?
Yeah, but like that's not essential behind a bar. Like in my personal opinion, like a bartender, a very good bartender is way better than a mediocre mixologist.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that.
I mean, like someone who can make you feel welcomed and warm.
100%.
And yeah, you know, shake your hand and know your name and know your order. And
that is what's cool about this city and honestly the industry, because I think it's in any city. Like even in Chicago, New York, LA, San Francisco, Miami, if you go to these same places enough, then
they become your bartenders,
right?
Not your mixologists,
right?
You know, I think great mixologists should also be great bartenders. Now, in other major cities, I don't know how those two words differentiate from each other, but I do think that like you can have both.
Yeah, you can.
And I think you should. I strive to do both. You know, people would come in and be like, "Hey, man, if you could have a drink right now, what would you have?" And I would literally give them a High Life and a shot of Evan Williams.
Love it.
You know, it's like if I was off the clock right now and I sat down at this bar, that's exactly what I would have right now.
Yeah, I love that.
Now, an hour and a half later, if I'm having dinner or after like an after dinner drink, it might be something different. But you're asking me right now in this moment. So don't be surprised if your mixologist also says, right. You know, I'll take a PBR and a shot of mezcal kind of thing. It's not, we like to relax too.
I'm trying to remember the name of this bar, and I can't think of it. It was in Denver, and it was when I was up there. I was working remote here, and I worked at Cerebral Brewery a couple nights a week, sometimes one, sometimes two, just to get out of the house and meet people and do something different, really to pay for my beer, honestly.
Yeah.
Because once you're in that industry, in that city, you don't pay for beer anymore.
Yeah.
So it was great.
Nice.
But there was a bar, and I just had it, and I lost it again.
Is it Williams and Graham?
No, I love Williams and Graham.
Okay.
No, but this was right across from Colfax over there by Cerebral.
Okay.
And it was an industry bar through and through.
Oh, nice.
And there was 5 or 8, or maybe it was 6 or 8. 5 would make no sense. 6 or 8 different like beer and shot combinations.
Oh, cool.
Based on, so you said like mezcal and PBR. There was that. There was a Boilermaker. There's just like all of these different things. And as soon as we would close down the brewery, there was a Michelin star chef or James Beard chef next door. As soon as he was done, he'd come over, he'd order one of the shots and a beer, and we would just all sit there and be like, hey.
Yeah.
And it's like, go.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all about familiarity. It's all about the people that are serving you that beer and shot, and making sure that, like I said, like I always felt bad, like whenever people would come in to Hodges and be like, hey, is it cool if I just get like a High Life and like a shot of well bourbon? It's like, yeah, that's what we all drink here.
Yep.
So you're good, dude.
Sometimes a low life.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But I mean, don't feel bad like going into some like those kind of bars, ordering those kind of things.
No, I'm with you.
I mean, and if anyone ever gives you shit about that, it's like,
that's not your bar.
Yeah. It's not your bar.
Not your bar.
And it sounds like they don't want you there either.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that weird way.
That would actually piss me off if someone gave someone shit for ordering something that we all drink.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd be
on.
very odd to me.
Yeah.
So if you're like, in my personal opinion, like if you ever encounter that, like that's not the bar for you, and it doesn't sound like you're the bar for them, or whatever, how you want to say it. But yeah.
So let me ask you this: so you're into month 4 as GM.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go with it? What's your do you have a plan? What's your master plan? What's your vision? What's your mood board? I don't know, whatever. Like,
totally.
What do you want it to be?
I'm really focused on spring and summer. I want to make that patio incredible. I would like to install a bar out there.
It is one of the best patios in town, and I don't know how many people realize that.
Yeah. That's kind of like my like 3-month plan is making sure like we get lights out of that pergola, so we can always have like dining out there, and then maybe do some live music out there more than just once a week. I would like to have like maybe an outdoor menu, maybe like an outdoor wine list that like these are our patio wines that we love to sell for patio. I'd like to have like an actual bar out there with like a highlight on like low ABV, vermouth sodas, vermouth tonics, things like that. Create like a really cool bar menu. I really want to have a good birthday in 2023.
Okay.
For Lowood. We'll turn 4. And I would like to do something over that fire pit.
That'd be cool. You do have a cool fire pit back there.
Yeah. So I would actually like to do some kind of like, I don't know.
Talking about roasting a pig or something?
Yeah, something like that. Like I would actually like to do almost like a cool barbecue event.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, our birthday is Labor Day weekend. So
it's perfect for that.
It's perfect for that. And that's what I would really like to do. Just make that to maximize that patio as much as we can. We've got a lot of company Christmas parties coming up. I really want to knock Valentine's Day out of the park, and then really start focusing on July 4th and Memorial Day and like all of summer and things like that. Like that's kind of my 6-month, 8th-month goal.
Yeah, sure.
Something like that.
I dig it.
And there's a couple changes I want to make to the menu. I don't want to go crazy with it, but I also we got to hire some more people. I'd like to get back open on Mondays. Create a new happy hour.
Hey.
I mean, that's already in the works. Like I've already got plenty of ideas.
You told me that from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think you apologized to me right away.
I apologized to everyone, and I felt so bad, but
I mean, business is business, man.
I mean, like sometimes
if the answer is you keep happy hour or we go out of business, then you can take the happy hour.
Well, we weren't ever going to go out of business.
No, I know,
but like
that was a drastic thing.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
If it,
I mean, like sometimes you just gotta.
It's hurting the bottom line, then don't.
Sometimes you gotta make a business decision in that, and as much as it sucks, but I'm trying to I want to come up with something equally as accessible and approachable and likable, and also be able to educate some people too.
That'd be really cool.
You know, I think Amaro and Vermouth Flights. I don't know of any other bar that's doing that right now.
No, not unless you try to make your own.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So.
But I don't even know how many bars have that many different Vermouths and Amaros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that's kind of my goal, honestly, for 2023 is really maximize that patio. I'd love to have like more weddings out there and celebrations and that kind of thing too.
Well, I mean, you had a high profile one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it went really well, and they loved it. We got a lot of great exposure.
For those that don't know,
oh yeah,
I just blanked on the celebrity.
I think it was damn. I'm so
Did
sorry.
you do it too?
Huh? No. I know who it is, but I don't remember if it's Sophia or Sophie.
It was Sophia.
Sophia
Bush. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was
That's
Sophia or Sophie.
Well, you're friends with her now, so it's probably Sophie.
Oh,
but I think her name is Sophia.
I never met her.
You're besties. Come on.
Oh yeah, totally. But no, I truly never met her. I think I said hi.
Sophia Bush.
Yeah. I mean, as far as I can tell, she was an absolute sweetheart of a person, and they loved every minute of it. But but like I would like to do some more like big celebrations like that. Those are a lot of fun. It kind of like sets the mood for the night when you know people are just celebrating. And so it always puts the staff in a really good mood too, you know, because like they're all...
Who doesn't want to celebrate?
The guests are already in a good mood.
Right.
You know, like from the moment they show up, they're stoked to be there.
Yeah.
And to fulfill their celebration and what they need and what they want to carry that out with their friends and family brings me a lot of joy, and to help like facilitate that. I want to do more of that in the backyard.
Love that.
Because it's a beautiful space.
It really is.
It's gorgeous out there. I always call it our J. Crew catalog.
100%. Yeah.
Like backdrop.
The bocce ball court and everything.
Yeah, man. Like that's exactly what it looks like in my personal opinion.
You're so right. It really does. I'll never look at it the same again.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, but it's a beautiful space, and we rent it out, and we've got a lot of people wanting to do that in the next year. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
As I let you go, this is your season. You know that, right? Nate's Nog.
Yes.
So that is my yearly Christmas gift and I don't want, like, I'm telling you guys, like, we're having a conversation here. This isn't for you guys. Like, you can't have Nate's Nog. It's the eggnog is just out of this world. I don't even know if there's a question in here. It's just more of a statement.
It will happen.
Like, it's my favorite eggnog. It made me really appreciate, I mean, like, you can find eggnog anywhere, but like, I've never made it. I don't really care to make it.
Sure.
So tasting it, that's done. But also like the, what was the coconut Averna cocktail? The Caïque.
Oh, the Caïque.
Hey,
Yep.
I remembered it.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done some things that have opened my eyes in different areas of cocktail-ism or cocktail world, whatever you want to call it. But that eggnog, man. I mean, this is your season. It's your time to shine.
Yeah.
It's your time to shine.
I said, I love Christmas. I said at the very beginning, I still do. And eggnog will be there next week. We'll start making that in batches.
Are you going to have it on the menu, or is it just going to be?
No, it'll definitely be on our dessert menu.
Okay,
for sure. Because I use a combination of bourbon and our coconut fat washed Averna.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like that's kind of what makes the eggnog. I also love eggnog.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for like dairy alcohol cocktails.
Did I tell you so Rhonda cleans our studio and she cleans my house every once in a while. And she stopped me the other day. She was here. She was like, "Hey." I looked at her and she was like, "Give me a bottle of that eggnog this year." Because she cleans one of my partners here, his house, and that's my gift to my partners here. And so I guess he gave her some or something. I don't know how that came about, but now she tried to put it in order. And I was like, "We'll see, Rhonda.
No,
we'll see.
It will happen.
Yeah,
that will be a thing. I kind of want that to I want it to be a tradition.
It is for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell everyone when they can come see you. What are your hours right now for the Christmas season?
Yeah, so I work at Lowood Modern Wood Fire, in downtown Tulsa, right next to Hodges Bend, across the street from Boho Pizza. We are open Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're open from 5 to 10 p.m. And then on Friday and Saturday, we are open from 5 to 11.
Nice.
Serve all kinds of food, great cocktails, incredible wine list. Hodges is right next door for a great Irish coffee or cocktail afterwards. And
it's a great little night you can make.
Yeah, I mean, right on
there.
That corner is it's such a cool little
there's
neighborhood.
There's a dispensary down at the other corner, so you can just end the night.
You can also grab that.
All right.
Go for it.
So if a person hasn't been before, someone listening, and they come in, what's the one recommendation on the menu right now that you would, not a special, but just what will be on the menu that you would direct them to?
Oh, absolutely. My favorite thing on the menu, and I'll say it here, and I've said it to every single brand new guest or even people that have been in before, I'm like, you have to get the pork belly. That's my favorite thing on the menu. It's a dippable, shareable appetizer. At the same time, though, I've ate it as a meal several times, and it is just absolutely delicious. It's a pork belly that's been marinated, and then with a little bit of sesame seed, a little bit of shallots, green onion, hummus. Yeah, and it comes with a lavash cracker. I believe it is completely gluten-free.
That sounds delicious. I haven't actually had that. I need to come have it.
Oh, man, yeah. It's phenomenal. Yeah, I remember, I worked on my birthday on Tuesday, and the chef was like, what do you want for...
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you happy birthday. Yeah. Sorry.
No worries.
Bad friend.
And no, it's okay. I'm not on Facebook, so most people don't know my birthday.
Fair. That is what I rely on, unless I just happen to remember.
Yep. But my chef was like, what do you want for your birthday dinner since you're working? And I was like, I just want the pork belly, man. He's like, you don't want a steak or nothing? I was like, nah, man, pork belly. That's what I want.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I devoured the entire thing. That thing does not stand a chance when it's in front of me. So,
and cocktail-wise, same question. Would it be the Kayik because it's so unique?
Yeah, that's a really cool Jungle Bird variant cocktail that I came up with when we first opened. It was on pretty much the highlight of our cocktail menu when we first opened. Kayik is great if you really like rum and pineapple and coconut. If you like vodka grapefruit, I recommend the Garden Party or our Tarragon Gimlet. That's kind of like my little ode to Jeffrey Morgenthaler in that sense. And then we've got a great coffee cocktail right now on the menu too. Peter came up with the Across the Board.
Yep, he let Jake and I try that when he was not sure A and Bing it, wasn't sure where to go with it. It was delicious.
Yeah, I only had I had a small helping hand in the finishing touch of that drink. For the majority of it, it's all him. He did a really good job. But I think the two cocktails that we're really mainly known for is the Kayik and the Garden Party.
That's
the
awesome.
Garden Party for sure.
I love that your fun story before we go. So your non-alcoholic cocktail list, you have 3 or 4, right? On the
I think
NA
we got
list.
4 right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you have some NA wines, I think, or was that at Hodges?
That's Hodges.
That's at Hodges. Okay, so you just have the cocktails. Well, so I had a sales meeting with one of my sales associates, and we grabbed a drink at Hodges. And as we're sitting there, I ordered my whiskey and Pilsner or something, and I don't remember what she used to drink, but she ordered a soda water or something. I was like, well, I didn't pay any attention to it, whatever. And so we went to Lowood, and I ordered something, and she got a soda water. And I was like, all right, what the heck? That's when I found out she was pregnant. Her and her husband are pregnant. So then we looked at the NA list. And so now that little bar area at the table, I'm like, oh, that's where Devin told me she and Caleb were having a baby.
Yeah.
But she really appreciated both your and Hodges because we went back because I knew Hodges had NA stuff. And she actually ordered the wine that we had at Hodges, that German, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a German company that does NA sparkling Riesling or something like that.
Okay.
She ended up ordering it because she wanted to drink and she can't drink.
Right.
So, I don't know. Fun story. But you do have a good NA cocktail list, too.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that black tea old fashioned that I have on that NA list, I came up with that when I took several months off of drinking, just kind of reset my body and that kind of thing, just to take a break. I think it's always good to do that.
Yes.
But I would go into Hodges. And this is before Lowood was even open. And I was just like, hey, I sat there, I was drinking like a Coke, or something like that. And I was looking around. I was like, wait, do we still have that black tea concentrate? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, can you make me an old fashioned out of that? And it was perfect.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was like,
done.
Yeah, this should be on the non-alcoholic menu. And then I did a Pimm's one as well, like a Pimm's cup version. Wasn't that great, but
some of them can be misses.
But I'll tell you right now, like that black tea concentrate old fashioned is.
I might actually try that because there are times where if I'm not doing the podcast, I try not to drink early part to mid part of the week.
Sure.
If I can, I don't drink Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Would be nice. But there's days where work requires me to have a drink.
Sure.
And so I'll drink like an NA beer or I'll just do something. But I do want to come try that black tea old fashioned because I think it really, it kind of does. It highlights the skill set. I was trying to think of the right way to say this, but and I'm trying to compare it to something. So like when Dave Portnoy reviews pizzas on Barstool, he gets a cheese pizza every time. To me, like as a bar, if you can make a good NA cocktail, then that says something about the rest of your cocktails.
I agree 100%.
And I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but it's like the litmus test maybe for me.
Yeah. For me, it's like, every bartender's got their own thing, like when they go into a brand new bar and they're like testing out the bartender, right? For the longest time, it was a daiquiri. And then I think that got just a little too easy. And so I think an NA cocktail, I think is pretty great. I think it's a pretty good litmus test, like you said. Also, like, does that bar care just as much about the guest who's not drinking?
Yeah.
And the ones that are? Like, do they put that thought and care into the people that choose not to drink? And hell, you might get a cocktail that's $8 to $11 that has no alcohol in it. But I hope that bartender put as much thought and care into it, as much as they would as a $30 old fashioned, that kind of thing. So.
It's like there's some places in town, like Freya down on Brookside, because Justin doesn't drink anymore. I mean, their NA list is incredible. I mean, they have it's almost like a full page of NA cocktails and wines and different stuff like that. They also carry that German wine. But I'm with you. Like if it's back to being a bartender, right? It shouldn't matter what you're drinking. You're in my establishment.
Yep.
You're giving me your money. Welcome.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't just have to take care of you. I want to take care of you.
Exactly. Nate Young, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
Thanks for your time. I'll see you soon at Lowood.
Yes, sir, you will.
And I'll see you guys next week on the Tasting Room. See ya.
Cheers.